Welcome back to the Metro Center in Halifax. Moments away from the final match in the Diet Coke International. Warming up at center court, Gabriela Sabatini and Manuela Maleeva. TSN is proud to welcome Diet Coke as a major sponsor. On behalf of the company, John Brennan, Senior Vice President of Coca-Cola Limited. John?
Thanks, John. The bottlers of Coca-Cola are proud to bring you the Diet Coke International today. Coca-Cola's tennis involvement ranges from the Players International in Toronto and Montreal to local tennis development through Tennis Nova Scotia, where we bring along the up-and-coming new players. The Diet Coke International today brings together the best young female tennis players from around the world. I hope you enjoy the game.
Thank you, John, and I'm sure we will. They're at center court, the final of the Diet Coke International. Gabriela Sabatini, seeded number 1 in this championship. Manuela Maleeva, seeded number 2, so the top 2 are through. And here is Manuela Maleeva from Sofia, Bulgaria. Outstanding young player. Ranked number 11 currently on the WITA computer. And she has all the shots, Peter.
She sure does. She needs a little bit more work on her violation, serving very well, but Maleeva is going to be fun to watch today for players who are really trying to understand how to work the tennis court. She can hit the ball to any area that she wants. I think the one thing about Maleeva that is so good is that she's a very smart, intelligent player on the court. She knows how to play almost every player now. She loves it when they come into the net. Sabatini's going to be a little tougher for her in that Sabatini probably won't be in there as much as she should be.
And here is Gabriela Sabatini from Argentina, 16 years of age. She'll be 17 on the 16th of May. Ranked 10th in the world and just a sensational young talent. One of the favored daughters, if not the favored daughter of Argentina.
Yeah, very popular player, not only in Argentina but around the world. She's probably the one player now that is the future for women's tennis as far as a new star is concerned, because she's exciting to watch. She's gone through a new conditioning program. She just started right after Christmas, working very hard. No tennis at all. Spent a couple of weeks on her condition. You can see she's got a lot stronger in the arm. She's hitting the ball about 25% faster than she did even 5 or 6 months ago.
I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. Sabatini versus Maleeva, number 1 versus number 2. The rankings, Sabatini number 10 and Maleeva number 11. So it doesn't get much closer than that. This is the 6th meeting between the two, and Sabatini has won 3 of the previous 5. In prize money in 1986, Sabatini won $264,139. Manuela Maleeva, $200,736. So very, very evenly matched players going into this final of the Diet Coke International this afternoon.
Yeah, John, it was interesting yesterday in the press conference when they asked Sabatini if he'd played Maleeva before, and she said, yeah, I played her 3 times, and I've beaten her all 3 times. And then her coach, Pato Ape, interjected and said it's actually 3-2. So.
You just remember the victory.
Yeah, right.
The gentleman in charge of proceedings this afternoon, the umpire will be Michael Orr. And we're about set to get underway. Sabatini will serve to get the final match of the Diet Coke International underway. At stake, $25,000 U.S., $33,000 Canadian. Love 15. You'll notice as Sabatini plays, she often looks a little casual. And I don't know that that's really the style, but she often plays a little casual. Love 30. And in yesterday's semifinal, it took Sabatini a little while to get into the flow of the game, a little while to get warmed up.
Actually, her matches, she often loses the first set. When she is in a 3-setter, it's usually first set to her opponent and wins the last 2.
15-30.
Sabatini loves to experiment with the ball. That's her actual strength. And when you're talking about her looking a little casual, it's because she's so darn talented.
Game 1, first set. This is the final. So Sabatini gets back to 30-all. And evidence there of the serve that has improved for Gabriela Sabatini.
Yeah, greatly. Actually, she's throwing the ball a little bit more out in front of her. She used to throw it way behind her head and arched her back. It's all part of her progression as a player. Keep in mind, she's only 16 years old. Seems like she's been around for a while.
To 40-30, Sabatini in game one of the first set. It is back to deuce, or two deuce. First double fault of the match so far this afternoon. Sabatini has already disposed of one of the Maleeva sisters here in the championship. She beat Katerina in the quarterfinals. Katerina Maleeva. Today, at center court in the final, the Diet Coke International, Manuela Maleeva. Maleeva has the first game of the opening set. Sabatini questioning one of the line calls. Which one didn't she like, Peter?
It was the second to last shot there when Maleeva hit the ball deep. Looked like it was out. And she was...
Michael Orr is being approached by Sabatini now.
Sabatini was very casual about hitting the shot back because she was pretty certain it had gone out. There's that volley swing. Pretty difficult to see it from that angle.
Difficult from that angle. You see the casual
Yeah,
return.
she was. And she actually looked to the line judge right afterwards.
Manuela Maleeva is 19. She'll be 20 on Valentine's Day. So she could come back for one more year in this women's under-21 championship.
That's pretty much her look throughout the match there. When she's winning or losing, it doesn't change expression too much. That first game we saw Maleeva attempting to come into the net a couple of times. She actually hit one volley. Not very comfortable up at the net.
Maleeva leading 1-love and serving. Well played by Manuela Maleeva. 15-love. Game 2, first set.
We see here Sabatini is going to have to get in a little closer. Notice how she comes into the net, but she only gets into the service line. If she's going to be able to take control of the net, she's going to have to get into halfway between the net and the service line. Maleeva's just got too pinpoint a passing shot to be able to stay that far back.
30-love. Maleeva once more to 40-love.
Here's Maleeva's game plan. Look at how far out she put Sabatini and then go to the other corner. This is what she's planning on doing against Sabatini. You have to move her around. You can't let Sabatini get into a groove. She's too tough.
2-love Maleeva in the first set. In the semifinal yesterday had some difficulties with her first serve against Stephanie Rahe, but so far first serve has been going well for her.
Well, a little bit different situation here in that against Rahe can return serve well off both sides. Sabatini only returns serve well off the backhand side. So there's not as much pressure on a server when you know that only one side is strong.
Good point. Oh. Can't beat a shot like that.
No, Maleeva's very confident. She's starting off going for tough shots there. She's going for the corner early.
We talked to Maleeva yesterday. She felt a great deal of confidence about playing Sabatini. She missed it that time. To 15 all.
Well, see, she enjoys playing someone like Sabatini because they have similar styles and that they're not going to put pressure on one another. They have the opportunity to stay back and rally.
To 30-15. The final of the Diet Coke International. Live from Halifax. All kinds of court to work with for Manuela Maleeva.
Maleeva putting a lot of pressure on. Smart move. Notice how she had Sabatini out and then came in, hit a topspin forehand, something you really shouldn't do unless you've got a setup like that.
And
it's a big gamble. Oh, boy. A great deep shot.
Sailed a little bit long as Sabatini was at the net that time and came away with a point.
That combination I think we're going to see a lot of. Even though that didn't work, that still is in favor of Maleeva because Sabatini doesn't like to come into the net to pick up drop shots nor go back to hit the lob. It's just not where she's comfortable. She likes moving side to side at the baseline, and Maleeva knows that.
Maleeva leading 2-love, first set. Well played again, and we're at deuce.
Maleeva is so confident off the ground. One thing here, notice this backhand, two-hand backhand that she hits. This is a very difficult shot to hit, to go down the line with that kind of angle. It's sort of curving out to the side. She's not afraid to go for her shots right now. Look at that.
Oh.
Great side tee shot. Look where this ball lands. This is a very important shot for any player to learn to hit. Right in that side tee area where the single sideline meets the service line.
It is back to deuce. Interesting as you watch Maleeva in the early going in this match that she is using all the shots. She's got down the line, she's got cross court, she is, and as you say, very confident about all of those shots.
Right. Remember we talked at the beginning of the show, John, about how she just loves to utilize all areas of the court.
Double fault. Third of the game for Sabatini. And the advantage goes to Maleeva. Missed it that time. Back to deuce.
Sabatini's starting to throw the ball a little bit further behind her head on the serve, and I think this is a sign that she isn't as confident as she was in the beginning.
Didn't miss by much, but it was out. Add to Sabatini. Long game, this one.
Very important game early in the match because a 2-1-3 love difference is very critical. Maleeva would really have the advantage if she could get this game.
Nice point. Good shots going in both directions.
Here's Sabatini now. We're getting a chance to see her starting to really arch that back more. This is her old serve that she's tried to stay away from.
Sabatini now has the advantage.
Still a good shot to try. It was the type of shot that Sabatini would not have gotten, and just the fact that Sabatini knows that Maleeva is capable of hitting all of these shots puts a lot of psychological pressure on her.
Advantage to Sabatini, 2-love. Maleeva, first set of the final. Sabatini gets one back. Gabriela Sabatini holds serve. And in the first set, Maleeva leads 2-1. This is the Diet Coke International on TSN.
How do you dry mitts and boots in the winter? This ineffective way? Or do you waste energy like this? The new Forced Air Mitt and Boot Dryer solves the problem by standing your garments up and injecting warm air directly into them through these slits, drying them in a fraction of the time. It's fast, it's inexpensive, and it really works. Now available all across Canada in each of these fine stores. Thousands of homes are already enjoying the benefits of the new Forced Air Mitt and Boot Dryer. And now you can too. Look for them at a store near you.
At center court in Halifax, Gabriela Sabatini, Manuela Maleeva. First set action, Maleeva to serve, leading 2-1. Nice return by Sabatini, sets up the first point. Love 15.
Yeah, John, Sabatini loves to hit that backhand return. She's standing, holding the backhand grip. And this is why a lot of the players are now serving more to her forehand side.
To 15 all.
See, even there, she loves to just wind up and hit it.
Sabatini with rings on the racket hand there.
Yeah, including the right hand. John, look at that. That's the first player I've ever seen have a ring on on their racket hand, male or female. It's must be pretty important to her.
We'll try and find out who gave it to her. Maybe
right,
that's
right.
the key. Sabatini, just 16 years of age. She'll be 17 in May. Boy, she's accomplished a lot in a short time.
She really has. She's accomplished a lot personally and also for the game of tennis.
Now at 40-15.
Very impressed here today with the early stage of this match. Maleeva has consistently gotten the ball deep. Quite different from what I thought her game plan might be. Thought she would just do a lot more chipping and drop shotting early in the match to get Sabatini tired. There's that topspin forehand volley.
Maleeva to the net, comes away for the points. And a 3-1 lead in the first set in game.
For those people who are trying to work on their volley, do not hit this type of volley. It's just too hard to hit. You should hit a backspin volley, but Tom Ocker in the early 70s in the men's game, he was one of the few players that could hit a topspin forehand volley.
That one sails long in Maleeva, 15 love. Maleeva doesn't like to play at the net, but she looked very, very comfortable on that last point to win the fourth game. To 30 love. Fifth game of the opening set. Maleeva leading Sabatini 3-1. Second serve Sabatini. She has 3 double faults. And a 40 love now. Talking to both these players yesterday, Peter, their English is really so remarkable when you think of their backgrounds coming from Argentina and Bulgaria.
Yeah, Sabatini's really improved even in the last 8 or 9 months. She's getting much more confident in her press conferences.
Sabatini gets another one back. 3-2 in games, first set. Manuela Maleeva leading Gabriela Sabatini. And there's the score. The Diet Coke International at stake this afternoon. $25,000 to the winner.
Sabatini, this is a very important game for her. This fifth game, quite significant. And she's holding together here reasonably well, even though Maleeva got the early start. Look at that. This is considered one of the best backhands in tennis in that even though she hits it off the back foot, this is typical of clay court players. They do like to lean backwards and hit. Pato Ape is really working hard. Her coach working hard on getting Sabatini to step into the ball a little bit more. She's just gone through this transition phase and is not totally comfortable with it yet. Actually, Sabatini's in a good position right now because she plays much better when she's behind. She's not a good player when she gets out in front early in a match. She's very much a fighter.
Sabatini, a good year in 1985. You saw the victory she posted at the Japan Open. In 85, she was the youngest semifinalist ever at the French Open. Ready for action now as Maleeva serves to Sabatini. Maleeva leading 3-2, first set. Sabatini guessing wrong. Maleeva went to the corner.
Maleeva's got a good percentage in at the net, doesn't she?
She has.
She's 5 for 5 in at the net. Picking her spots cautiously. There's a good backspin volley. That's the way it should be. Make note of that, John, next time you go out to play.
The winners. Maleeva 9, Sabatini 1. Sabatini couldn't get to that one. 30 love. And the ace. 40 love. First ace of the match. 2 excellent serves by Maleeva.
She's picked the corners very nicely. Very accurate server. This is not a hard serve. If we clocked it would probably be coming in at about 75, 80 miles an hour. To put that in perspective, the big women's servers are up around 110, 115 consistently. But it's a very accurate serve.
Sabatini missed. Maleeva into a 4-2 lead in games, first set.
As we watch Sabatini play, it's interesting to note how the traditionalists that love to see the racket back turned sideways get set to hit the ball. I remember with Teddy Tinling in New York a while ago, he is shocked the way Sabatini plays tennis. He feels that she should be a lot more form-oriented. But the game
you
is
can't knock the success.
well, the game has evolved now. You can't have form in tennis anymore. A very rare player will have it because the speed of the game is so much greater. There's another winner.
As that, what would surprise you most about the match so far this afternoon, the fact that Maleeva has been to the net and won so many times?
Yeah.
We weren't expecting her to get anywhere near it.
I thought the reverse was going to take place. I thought Sabatini would be the one trying to get into the net.
Nice shot by Sabatini, but a great shot by Maleeva. Sabatini just snuck it over the net, but Maleeva was standing there and had all kinds of territory to work with.
What set this shot up was actually the two-hand backhand right there. Look at the wide angle that she got, then came back with the drop shot to the same place. Well played. There's what we talked about earlier, John. Use of the court.
And right down the line, Maleeva. Threatening to break Sabatini at love 40.
Sabatini seemed a little discouraged there. I thought she could have got that ball. She's just being outplayed here this first set.
Game 5-2 in games, Manuela Maleeva. First set of the final day at the Diet Coke International in Halifax. And the tennis has been terrific so far. So far this afternoon, it has been Manuela Maleeva, 19-year-old from Sofia, Bulgaria.
Sabatini, if she's going to become one of the top players in the world, is going to have to develop another dimension to her game. Maleeva, as we see here, has really dominated this match simply because of the fact that she has been able to adjust to the new dimension. She's volleyed well, she's come into the net, she's moved the ball around, and even though she has stated in the past that she feels she's a little too old to work on her volley, she's done well here today.
Now, we were expecting Sabatini at the net, and we really haven't seen her up there at all.
I think, you know what happened? Remember that about the first or second game, Maleeva hit that really nice passing shot, and Sabatini hasn't been into the net since. That one time intimidated her. And she can't allow that. She's got to come in. She's got to have the confidence to be in there. Because she's a wonderfully talented athlete. She does volley well when she comes in. But it's just a matter of the confidence of getting in there.
So far, Maleeva has lost just 1 point in 3 service games. She'll serve again.
Still doing well. John, this is good for our viewers to note. This is not a powerful server, just an accurate server. So often people come out, you know, and they say, gee, I want to hit the ball harder on my serve. It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it.
Where you put it.
Look, there's another very accurate serve.
And a winner. Sabatini has had some difficulty with returning Maleeva's serve so far.
There's a reason behind that, John. Maleeva has really mixed it up. She's gone, there's no consistency in where she's hitting it. Going forehand, backhand, mixing it up.
30-15. Sabatini battling back. fell behind 2-11 games, got back to 2-1. Then Maleeva pulled ahead again. It is 5-2. Maleeva in the first set. That's a little better for Sabatini, but she missed. She knew what she wanted to do.
Smart time to do that. 5-2. She needs to hit out. She's been a little bit short.
First set for Manuela Maleeva. Sabatini lobbed just a little too long. 6-2.
Pretty much an indication of what's been taking place. Look how much Maleeva's moving Sabatini around. Hit that side tee again and then came back to the same side, caught Sabatini off balance. That last shot, John, is a great combination to use against Sabatini. It's called come back to where the player just came from, and Maleeva's using it very effectively. Sabatini once she gets her momentum side to side, she's okay. She doesn't like to return to the corner she just came from.
Maleeva at the net and winning another one. 30-15, she has dominated the net.
Do you know what set that up? Is the fact that she hit 5 in a row to the backhand and then came to the forehand where Sabatini wasn't ready for it and got that short ball, enabled her to come into the net. Very smart play. The advantage Maleeva has is that she's not intimidated by Sabatini's backhand, where many of the players are, and so they try to play Sabatini's forehand too much, and then Sabatini starts getting confidence in her forehand side.
Sabatini has game 1 of the second set. And that's rather important. A new face in the crowd, a new spokesman for Diet Coke is being introduced to Canada this afternoon. The president of the Cola Connoisseurs Association. We'll see if we can spot him down there. A seat in row 1. Hello, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. What does a cola connoisseur do, and what does the president of the Cola Connoisseurs do?
Well, being the president, I'm very lucky because I can take in tennis matches such as this, just relax, drink lots of Diet Coke, and that's about it, I guess.
What's your next assignment? Are you going to be going all across Canada?
No, I'm going to be vacationing in the Bahamas for a couple of weeks, and then after that, we'll see what's going on.
Seems to us that Whitney Houston might be a tough act for the president of the Cola Connoisseurs to follow.
Oh, I'm not even going to try to follow Whitney, although I'd like to.
Peter, I don't think I've ever talked to a Coke can before.
Well
Anyway.
done.
Thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. Good luck on the new campaign for
Well,
Diet
thank you.
Coke.
Thank you.
All right. Nice outfit.
Good facial expression, yeah.
Big smile. Like that. President of the Cola Connoisseurs. Well, how about that? Better get back to some tennis talk right now. 1-love Sabatini's second set. And Manuela Maleeva has the first all wrapped up 6-2. Two very fine young players. The great shot-making skills of Manuela Maleeva have been showcased very well so far this afternoon. Sabatini a little slow to start.
That's her style. Notice there Maleeva just held up the ball. That's a tradition that the players have whenever they do have new balls. There's another winner.
Maleeva has had Sabatini on the run several times. Last point.
But it also, there's that side tee shot again, off to look how far out Sabatini was. And what Maleeva's doing is waiting until she gets Sabatini outside, then coming into the net. Most players will come in before they hit the ball, or just as they hit the ball. What's happening is Maleeva is waiting to see whether Sabatini is really out of position. It's a different tactic, but it's worked very effectively for her here today.
Maleeva questioned it. It was overruled by the umpire, Michael Orr.
Huh. That was a quick call. We'll get a chance to see it here. Oh, it might have caught the outside of the line. That's a tough call for the umpire in the chair going that far across the court, but Sabatini didn't question it, so. Another winner.
Michael Orr in charge of proceedings here this afternoon. He was very definite on that last call.
Sure was.
And as you say, there was no question at all from Sabatini.
Another accurate serve. There's that side tee shot. Maleeva coming in again. What an effective combination.
She has Sabatini slightly confused at times, it seems to me.
Look, Sabatini can't respond to this shot. Look, it's a little short side tee off to the side. Look how far out Sabatini is, and then she's just coming in. It's not even a chance to get that shot back.
Sabatini was guessing the other way. Second serve, Maleeva. At 40-15. At 40-30 now. Manuela Maleeva, 6-2 in the first set, trailing in the second. Sabatini has a 1-love lead. Deuce now. Sabatini frustrated? Or?
She really is. She's trying to figure out what to do here. And this is where she's going to have to change on the long term. Going to have to learn to come into the net.
Maleeva has been shifting Sabatini from side to side and playing the right shot just about every time, like here.
Here's that slice serve to the forehand, and all Sabatini can do is chip it back because she's got the backhand grip, and she's getting herself in trouble. Maleeva knows that. Look at this change of pace.
And back to deuce. Maleeva wonders about the call, but doesn't say anything this time.
I think she's just a little disappointed there because what she's trying to do now, Sabatini's starting to get some rhythm going, and so Maleeva's going to bust it up right away by hitting a little softer shot.
At deuce, second serve, Maleeva. Just a beautiful shot for Manuela Maleeva. He went right down the line on Sabatini once more.
Once again, we get a chance to see Maleeva pinpointing her shot. Sabatini just is not quick enough off the mark. I mentioned at the beginning of the match here that Sabatini is considered one of the slower players on the circuit, and that's exactly what happened there. She just is not responding as quickly as she should.
Back to deuce. Sabatini has hugged that baseline most of the afternoon. You're mentioning her slowness. Is there any way you can get quicker? Can you get faster in tennis?
Well, there's two things you can improve. One is your anticipation. You can start to read the opponent a little bit better so that you'll be able to move quicker. And then, yes, there is what her problem is she's flat-footed a lot. Even when she's standing to return serve, her feet are flat on the ground.
The advantage, Maleeva, once more.
You can't do a whole lot to really improve so much your reaction time, but what you can do is your preparatory time. You can get yourself up on your toes, you can work on the anticipation, and that will make a big difference. I remember a doctor telling me one time that your reaction time is inherent, but the other factors are capable of being improved upon.
Long point, this one. We're into the second set. The Diet Coke International winner this afternoon, 25,000 U.S., about 33 grand Canadian. Sabatini and Maleeva at center court.
There's that backhand grip.
She's go.
Classic example here. Look at this. Here comes the slice serve to the forehand. She has to chip it back. It's short and opens up the court, and there goes the winner once again. Maleeva's played a super match so far.
Maleeva has used that corner an awful lot, too.
Really has.
Maleeva evens things up in the second set. 1-1 now. And just about every phase of Manuela Maleeva's game has been working to perfection this afternoon. She has the first set 6-2 and leads, and now has even in the second set. It's at 1-1 with Sabatini to serve. Diet Coke International on TSN.
What happened? She just can't get to her, those shots. This is what I thought she would use a lot more of. She's very selectively bringing her in on the drop shot. Sabatini is missing the ball just maybe a couple of inches. It's that difference in speed.
You suggested at the outset, Peter, that Manuela might be using that drop shot quite a bit this afternoon. Now, it could be at a point in the game where now she figures she will use it.
Right. She's got Gabriela really out of her rhythm, her pattern. Look at that shot. That says it.
And you said she wasn't going to come to the net. She's been there 12 times and won 12 points.
Perfect record. That's three full games she's won by coming to the net. 4 points per game. Amazing statistic, and it says it all.
Not much is going wrong for her. Manuela Maleeva.
Sabatini's game is suited for Maleeva in that Sabatini hits a lot of heavy topspin, and Maleeva likes to take the ball high.
Now 30-40. Sabatini slightly confused.
Right now, all she's got going for her is that she's simply a fighter because she's being outplayed in every aspect of the game. So the only thing that can be a hope for her here is that she'll just hang in, and maybe Maleeva will make a few mistakes like that. Because on every account here, Maleeva's playing a smarter match. She's physically hitting the ball better. She's running better. She's coming to the net. So we'll see if Sabatini can pull it out, as she has done over the years.
Advantage to Sabatini. She is a fighter.
She hit one of her first backspin backhands there, which Maleeva isn't that comfortable with. Maleeva doesn't like low balls, yet Sabatini's continued to hit high balls the entire match.
That'll play. A big round of applause for Gabriela Sabatini as she takes a 2-1 lead in games in the second set. This is the Diet Coke International on TSN.
Players in this eagerly awaited final.
Remember this moment? Wimbledon 1980. The greatest rivalry in tennis history is back. John McEnroe will meet the legendary Bjorn Borg in the Proctor Silex Tennis Classic, live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Borg and McEnroe, ice and fire. Will history repeat itself? Find out when they meet Monday, February 9th, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on TSN.
John Wells along with Peter Burwash courtside at the Diet Coke International. We're into the final today. Gabriela Sabatini leading the second set 2-1 on Manuela Maleeva, but Maleeva has set 1, 6-2 already racked up.
Okay, here comes the start of the backspin backhands. Hopefully she can use that a little bit more.
Lots of power, not enough lift. That says a little something about this match so far.
Amazing statistic.
The winners, Maleeva 23, Sabatini 3.
17 forehand winners from Maleeva.
Thirty love.
Very effectively served from the deuce court there, consistently to Sabatini's forehand.
As you mentioned, not a powerful serve, but well placed.
Exactly.
And again, he set it up with a serve.
Here we go. Here's the serve down the center to the front. Look how Sabatini has to chip that ball back, not in position. Ooh, there's a close call. Must have caught just the outside of the line.
Maleeva back to even at 2 in the second set. Sabatini has put 3 of her last 4 shots into the net, and really hasn't seemed to have been under tremendous pressure.
No.
With those shots.
A lot of unforced errors.
And another one.
Well, see, what's happening here, John, is that she's frustrated because Maleeva is playing her game. And for some of the younger players watching this match who are hoping to become good tournament players learn different dimensions. Don't just learn a one-dimensional game. There's another 13 to 13.
Times at net, points won. Manuela Maleeva.
But she's been able to really set up consistently good setup shots so she can come in and hit the winner.
Again.
Sabatini didn't try for that shot, did she, John?
I didn't think she did. Now 3-2 in games, and Sabatini broken. Manuela Maleeva is having a very good afternoon against Gabriela Sabatini. There's the score at the Diet Coke International.
Turn of Heart, starting February 28th on TSN.
Maleeva leading Sabatini 3-2 in the second set after winning the first 6-2. Manuela Maleeva has frustrated Gabriela Sabatini at just about every turn so far in the final this afternoon. And again, she's won all the shots. 14 for 14 times at the net. The points won.
Super touch, good drop volley there. For someone who doesn't necessarily like the net, she's had a tremendous day up there.
The expression on her face has not changed.
No, it won't.
We might see her crack a smile before the afternoon's over, but we still wait for it. Sabatini is up there. And missed it. Tough shot to make, but that might deter her from further journeys up to the net.
She gets intimidated. You know, we're talking about Maleeva's expression. I watched her win a couple of big matches and tournaments and saw her lose 0-0 in the second and third set to Bettina Bunge, and her expression was exactly the same.
At 30-15 now. Game 6 of the second set.
Very critical point here for Sabatini. If she loses this point, got herself into a real hole.
That's where she finds herself at 40-15.
This is where a dimension of not only just serving and coming into the net or coming in behind the return or changing the pace of the game. She hasn't done anything to alter that, and Maleeva is just getting stronger and stronger.
Now at 40-30. Some great tennis action coming up later today on TSN. U.S. Pro Indoor Championships from Philadelphia, following our coverage here from Halifax this afternoon. John McEnroe, Tim Mayotte in the final in that one. U.S. Pro Indoors.
McEnroe lucky to be there. Did that first set against Thomas Monsdorf last night. Lost at 7-5 and came back to win the last two.
Something about Johnny Mac, though,
yeah.
there.
Oh, he's playing well. This is what she has to do. Now she's changing the pace, giving her some loop spins.
I thought she might have been able to get a racket on that ball.
I think so, too. There's just something about her today that she's not reaching for the ball. This was sort of a miss-hit, and notice how slow she was getting into that, and she got in too tight. But there, she could have reached that easily.
At least touch the ball.
Yeah,
It might not have been a winner.
yeah.
Four-2 in games. Maleeva leads.
Now look at Maleeva. Look how on that open stance forehand, she's so well balanced. She's been in position almost the entire time because of that good balance. Sabatini's just not moving.
Conversely, Sabatini has been out of position several times.
Right.
Forced there by Maleeva.
Yeah. Just struggling to get to almost every ball when she's forced wide. There it is again.
And not getting any breaks either. I suppose that one could have trickled over the other one.
Right. But they only go over, John, when you're winning.
When you're having a
Yeah,
good
you
day.
know that, don't you?
Yeah. So far, it has not been a good day for Sabatini.
When that ball, here it is again, hitting the white band. She got back in position a little bit better that time.
15th time at the net for Maleeva, 15th point. 15 for 15. And you told me that she was likely not going to get to the net today.
Good. That's shows that I know, right?
You had me convinced.
I don't think Sabatini was anticipating seeing her at the net that much either.
To 15-40. Can Sabatini get to the net now and turn this match around? If Sabatini starts going in.
She's too afraid right now. Maleeva's got excellent passing shots, and it's just too difficult. This is sort of a long-term thing that Gabriela's going to have to make the change on. Because here are two players pretty close in rankings. Gabriela number 10, Manuela number 11 in the world.
Seeded number 1 and 2
Wow.
is this event.
Unbelievable.
Maleeva, a 5-2 lead in the second set. On Gabriela Sabatini, a bit of a surprise, an upset in the making, perhaps, at the Diet Coke International. The finals live from Halifax continue after this.
So where Jordan goes, so go the Bulls. And this year, he's going well. Jordan is running away with the league scoring title, averaging 37 points a game. The Philadelphia 76ers will be up and down all night, led by the one and only Dr. J. Central meets the Atlantic when Air Jordan and the Chicago Bulls host the Philadelphia 76ers. Tuesday, February 10th, live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. NBA excitement Tuesdays and Fridays on TSN.
The Diet Coke International continues live on TSN. We're a little surprised so far this afternoon. Not that Manuela Maleeva has a lead on Gabriela Sabatini. That has happened before, but the way she has dominated the talented young Argentinian so far this afternoon.
A slight look of frustration. She just really doesn't know what to do. Oh, that's amazing. Not a big, powerful serve, but an accurate
Second ace
one.
for Maleeva. As you pointed out, she has positioned it so well all afternoon.
Two aces, but probably 70 or 80% of her serves have put Sabatini in trouble. Sabatini, but she's just not confident in there. It's
at 40 love. Maleeva has a chance here. Championship point.
John, one of the most perfect matches I've seen played by a player in a long time.
There it is. Manuela Maleeva. And we'll call it an upset. Gabriela Sabatini, the #1 seed in this championship, losing to Manuela Maleeva of Bulgaria. Maleeva ranked number 11 in the world. Sabatini slightly ahead at number 10. But it was really no contest in the final of the Diet Coke International here in Halifax today. Maleeva, almost flawless, as you mentioned, Peter.
Even in the final point here, we'll get a chance to see Sabatini started to move her around just a little bit. But Maleeva was just so tough all the way through. She got in a little bit of trouble there, but she still scrambled the ball back. Complete frustration for Gabriela Sabatini today.
Manuela Maleeva wins the Diet Coke International and the top prize of $25,000 U.S. An outstanding display by Maleeva, winning over Sabatini today.
TSN serves up the best tennis anywhere, and coming up is the U.S. Indoor Championship live from Memphis, Tennessee. And make no mistake about it, Mac is back, and he's playing on a hard surface he likes the best. Presently ranked 14th in the world, McEnroe is intent on climbing back to the top. Join us Saturday, February 14th at 1 Eastern for the semis, and Sunday, February 15th for the best-of-5 final. Championship tennis here on TSN.
TSN, Canada's all-sports network, is your ticket to primetime sports 24 hours a day, and February looks fantastic. Monday nights, the NHL's best battle for supremacy, and with TSN, you won't miss any of the action. There's also more exciting hockey from this year's Team Canada. Then Tuesdays and Fridays, you can ride to the top of the NBA with the leading clubs like the Lakers, the Bucks, and 76ers. Wednesday nights, it's hard-hitting action of top-ranked boxing, plus the live wire antics of AWA wrestling. See John McEnroe air it out at the National Indoor Championships on his way back to the top. There's more Canadian college sports, and we're on the road again to the National Championships. Starting in February, catch Al Lindner's In Fisherman Series weekly. And 5 times daily, the TSN Sports Desk brings you the latest news, scores, and highlights. So whatever your sport, you'll find it right here. There's only one ticket to the best in sports this February. It's TSN.
The Diet Coke International Tennis Tournament is brought to you by Diet Coke and NutraSweet brand sweetener, just for the taste of it.
Championship point as Gabriela Sabatini falls to Manuela Maleeva in the Diet Coke International, the final in Halifax this afternoon. And Maleeva simply had an outstanding day, winning in straight sets 6-2, 6-2 on Gabriela Sabatini. So the number 2 seed comes through, beat the number 1 seed in Halifax this afternoon. And Manuela Maleeva wins the top prize at the Diet Coke International, $25,000 U.S. There are the final scores, 6-2, 6-2, Maleeva over Sabatini in the Diet Coke International this afternoon. And we're ready now for the official presentations at center court. Let's join the stadium announcer, Jim Moore. Well, we're not quite ready with the official presentations here, as they're still getting some of the dignitaries moved to center court for the presentation to Manuela Maleeva. The championship trophy, of course, and the check for $25,000 U.S., roughly translated $33,000 Canadian. A good crowd on hand here this afternoon at the Metro Center in Halifax as the officials and dignitaries now make their way to center court here this afternoon. We were a little surprised at the clear dominance of Manuela Maleeva as she downed Gabriela Sabatini this afternoon, and as you said at one point, Peter Burwash, almost a perfect match.
It really was. I was amazed at the percentage. She had 100% coming into the net, 14 for 14. Very unusual. Maleeva doesn't enjoy coming into the net. She can normally dominate her opponent back from the baseline. Today was an example of variety of her game. Sabatini didn't change her game. Maleeva did.
She had all the shots. She had Sabatini running most of the afternoon, and she, as you say, just about perfect, but she had all the shots working for her.
She really did, and she didn't hit a lot of outright winners. What she did was she hit a lot of winners off point combinations. It was usually the third, fourth, or fifth time she hit the ball, she hit the winner. But Sabatini was forced out of position by the second or third shot, which opened up the court.
All right, as we look back to the match this afternoon, I think it had to be ranked as a little bit of a surprise, but as we look at the championship this afternoon, it was Sabatini off her game and Maleeva right on hers.
No question. I think what happened here was Sabatini did not know how to adjust. She got into a frustrating experience, and she's going to have to learn another dimension. She's going to have to learn to vary the pace, learn to come into the net if she's going to be a champion.
All right, I think we're now finally ready for the official presentations here this afternoon. The winner, Manuela Maleeva, and the runner-up, Gabriela Sabatini.
At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the dignitaries of the Diet Coke International, beginning with the Senior Vice President of Coca-Cola, Mr. John Brennan. The President of Tennis Canada, Francois Godbout. The President of the Nova Scotia Tennis Association, Jay Abbas. Your tournament chairman, Michael Wright. Your tournament manager, Jack Graham. And from the events division of IMG, Craig Moore and Katie Whitehead. I would now ask the Senior Vice President of Coca-Cola, Mr. Brennan, to please come forward for his closing remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The bottlers of Coca-Cola are absolutely delighted to have an opportunity to sponsor a tennis tournament of this caliber. We've had a good time, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. Thank you. I'd like to take a brief moment to thank the players for putting on an outstanding show today. Tennis Canada, of course, and all the volunteers, the ball boys and ball girls who did a great job here. And last and of course not least, the citizens of Halifax who made this happen. Thank you very much. And now it's my privilege to present a check for $16,000 to the first runner-up, Miss Sabatini. Would you come forward, please?
This is the first time here in Halifax, and I think it's a very nice city, and I love all the people here, Everybody treated me very nice here, and I hope to come the next year. And I want to say thank you to the sponsors, to Diet Coke, and International Management Group, and all the volunteers here. I think the tournament was very nice, and I hope to come the next year. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to award a check for $25,000 to Miss Maleeva. Come forward, please.
Like Gabriela, I would like to thank Diet Coke and International Management Group for putting such a nice tournament. It will be always very special for me because this is my first time here in Canada and first time in Halifax. So I will always remember this tournament here. I hope to be back again next year. And I would also like to thank all the volunteers from Nova Scotia. I think for a first pro tennis tournament, it's been a real nice one. So I hope I will be back in July for the Federation Cup in Vancouver, and maybe next year also. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our closing ceremony, and we thank you for your support.
Two very well-spoken young champions as they made their thank yous to the Halifax audience at center court here this afternoon. Manuela Maleeva, a perfect afternoon, at least almost perfect, 6-2, 6-2 with the final scores over Gabriela Sabatini, the #1 seed in the first Diet Coke International Tennis Championship here in Halifax. It was not quite the afternoon we expected, but Manuela Maleeva certainly provided outstanding tennis and an outstanding afternoon as she sidelined the #1 seed in the tournament and claimed the top prize of $33,000 Canadian. We're waiting the champion's arrival for a couple of final words to find out exactly how she viewed her afternoon of tennis here in Halifax and her week. Manuela, please come in here and say hi to us once more. Congratulations. You had a near-perfect day.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased with the way I played.
You were talking earlier in the week about your serve coming around, but just about every phase of your game seemed to work for you today. Were you expecting it to look that easy?
Well, it may have looked easy, but it was not easy. And what I'm happy about is that I'm feeling good on the court. All three matches I've played quite well. This one may be the best of the three matches, and I was happy that it was against Gabriela.
Can you remember the last time you played as well as you did today?
Well, it happens sometimes.
You were at the net an awful lot today, and I think you were there 15 for 15 at one stage of the match, 15 times for 15 points. We weren't quite expecting that of you today.
Well, I've been practicing this part of my game pretty much, and today it was just the perfect opportunity to do it.
What was the most pleasing aspect of your game today to you?
I think this is the most pleasing aspect because I've been really practicing hard this, and I never really showed it enough on the court, and today I think I did.
Manuela, thank you very much. Congratulations on a very worthy championship victory today.
Thank you very much.
Manuela Maleeva, and let's bring in Peter Burwash for a final couple of comments here today. We have mentioned the word almost perfect, and I guess there aren't very many perfect tennis games, but she was a terrific competitor and champion today.
She sure was, John. It really speaks well for kind of where the women's game has come. I think someone like Manuela has a wonderful future. We talked earlier in the match about the fact that she wasn't necessarily an exciting player, but today there was an element of excitement that I haven't seen in her in a long time. She had so much variety in not only physical, the way she approached the game, but mentally. And I'm very excited overall for the women's game and for players like Maleeva, because this is going to get a lot of people back into the game of tennis. That's exciting for all of us.
All right, Peter Burwash, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be moving on to Toronto, and we've got a pretty good one for you tomorrow night live from Maple Leaf Gardens. Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe at center court tomorrow night on TSN. Once again, the final score at the Diet Coke International here this afternoon. Manuela Maleeva in straight sets, 6-2, 6-2 over Gabriela Sabatini. Maleeva wins the Diet Coke International. So long for now.